Hey, I'm just a girl, just a girl, just a girl who went by the name Nonnie in her formative years. But as I grew older, I let go of the name and I was known as Priscilla. And then Toto for a few years, then Modoni, then Saul. It stuck for a while. Before God gives you a ministry, He first gives you a mirror. Give yourself permission to start over. Honor the different versions of you as you continue to evolve into newer versions. Give yourself grace through each phase. Accept yourself and embrace your unique traits that make you you. Okay, hey, it's Sissy. Yeah, this is a name that has a sentimental value and I'm gonna keep it for a while. I really like it, it really means a lot to me. And it comes with derivatives like Ciso, Cicerina. Apa, Auntie Apa, a name only my nieces and nephews call me. Noni, Modoni, Priscilla, Toto, Mso, Apa, Sisi, Siso, Cicerina. I'm really just different versions of the same girl. A girl, just a girl. A girl sometimes who feels so lost and unsure. And this is my visual journey, and I will be sharing with you some of the ways I've navigated my life's transitions and challenges. Anytime you feel lost or unsure, it means you need to pursue yourself. Starting over, detaching from the old you, moving from your comfort zone to your growth zone. This is by choosing aligned intentional actions again and again, not because you have to, but because it honors who you are becoming. Practice showing up consistently for your body, energy, and mind with grace, even when it's not convenient. In 2013, I said goodbye to my family and my loved ones. I left everything that I had behind. And I hopped on a flight to China. You see, I had been presented with this amazing opportunity to go to China and be an English teacher, only to get there and find out that it was nothing but a big, big scam. The blameless postmortem is dissecting what went wrong without applying blame or allocating blame to anyone. Instead of finding blame, unpack and dissect. Find solutions in a timely manner. You see, you don't have time to wallow or beat yourself up. In my case, in the Chinese scam, I only had 1 month. 1 month to get things right or come back home. The art of knowing when to pause, when to pivot, and when to pursue. I had so many questions. How did I get here? What happened? What did I need to do? How could I improve? What changes do I need to make? And with each question, I answered myself honestly. I looked objectively at the feedback that I got and I moved accordingly. I went online, looked for jobs based on my experiences and my qualifications in both hospitality and education. 2 days later, I got a call. I needed to double down while I still had momentum, and I took all the positive outcomes from my experience. You see, I had a job, but I needed first aid skills. So while waiting for my visa to process, I did 2 first aid courses at St. John's. I then went on and did a lot of research on Saudi culture, education curriculum, seasons, and laws. In 2 weeks, I was in Jeddah. Though, I'll be honest with you, I had almost zero support for my decision to go to Saudi. But I chose to pursue what I felt aligned with the life that I wanted. If there's any takeaway you'll get from my story, I need you to take this to heart. Embracing cringe and being audacious, detaching from opinions. You have to be audacious. Be audacious enough to put yourself in the spaces where you want to be. Show up, command your worth, face your fears. Your goals, journey, dreams are bigger than the cringe. You have to tell yourself that even if you're not there yet, you have what it takes to get there and are willing to do whatever it takes to get there. It's not delusion, it's self belief. On most days, you'll need a level of organization to track your work output and what's happening. Then there's some days when you need to restructure. On these days, you need to shift your mindset from routine to rhythm, forget discipline, and try devotion. You find what works for you. So some days I could have been vacationing with a small intimate group, a large diverse group, or on a personal vacation. My itinerary was just a guide to make the most of my vacation and not suck the fun out of it. Let me tell you about my cheat code. I was walking into new rooms and interacting with the elite. My old version had no place here. I needed to adapt and evolve as fast as I needed to into my new version. I adopted a new mindset, flipped the script, changed the narrative. I chose not to focus on the challenges of expat life in Saudi, but instead to find and amplify the good, positive, and amazing things about Saudi. I highlighted this especially on my social media and in my conversations. There was need for cultural awareness in a mindful way. Second thing I needed to do was to master my emotions. Living and working with kids full time meant that there was not going to be room for some emotions and certain behaviors. I needed to master my emotions. In my formative years, my parents were international school teachers. I had been exposed to Western culture, which meant there was an introduction of etiquette down. But as I grew older, I somehow let go of the practices because I was in places and spaces where I really didn't need to practice as such. So once again, I found myself in rooms and spaces where I needed etiquette, which called for me to unlearn, learn, relearn certain things in regard to physical appearance, body language, conversation skills, and general social etiquette. And just as I learned Chinese etiquette, I was now learning Saudi etiquette. When you invest in yourself, you cannot lose. Learn new skills, develop current skills, take online courses, discover meaningful podcasts, say yes to opportunities, embrace different cultures, network, work on your spiritual growth, focus on improving your health and adopting a healthier lifestyle. I went from this to this. Get a mentor, a coach who are in alignment with you, an accountability partner who will hold you accountable in a non judgmental manner. Get on social media and follow people who not only inspire you but also align with that ideal version of you that you want to be. Travel, whether it's local or international, get out of your hometown, move, explore, go to another city, another country, just move. ¿Cómo está? Learn a new language. Do something outside your comfort zone. Face your fears. When you begin to see familiar patterns in your relationships, you start to realize that the answers to your current struggles in relationships are intricately woven into the tapestry of your childhood experiences. You start by understanding how your early childhood experiences, especially with the people who raised you, shape your emotional blueprint for all of your future relationships. It's such a transformative lifelong journey between you and your inner child. As I worked with children of all ages, I embraced the joys of childhood. In hindsight, this was the beginning of my inner child healing journey. For me, working with children, teenagers, and young adults is a retrospective experience because I get to see all the past versions of me and I'm able to continually and gracefully heal because I now know that when I heal myself, I heal my whole bloodline. Creative expression is also referred to as artistic expression or creative self expression. It gives a voice. It helps one articulate their thoughts and feelings. It allows one to connect with their emotions, release pent up feelings, and find new perspectives. It is exploring, discovering, and communicating, helping one to advocate for themselves and others as well. The modern Renaissance man and woman. Renaissance was a time where we saw the reemergence of traditional concepts and techniques with artists such as Leonardo da Vinci. The Renaissance man or woman is a well-rounded individual, gifted and skilled in many different areas. Modern-day examples are like Adama Lorna, Rihanna, Dr. May Johnson, Chris Brown, Steph Curry, and of course Sir Lewis Hamilton. The passion formula is a formula you can use to consider when reinventing yourself and also when building your personal brand. So, this is how you calculate skills plus passion times energy to the power of your values. So, let's say I wanted to reinvent myself. This is what I'd do. I'd list examples respective to each formula element, and then I would use those to identify the goals that I had, which would be vital in answering questions like what am I trying to achieve, what type of opportunities am I trying to attract, and how do I want people to feel when they connect to me. Starting over to reinvent yourself can be done at any time. Could be for a career change, a business, starting a family, or any other significant changes that you may want to navigate. Give yourself grace and take it one day at a time. Set your intentions for the day. This starts on the night before. Set your intentions before you sleep. Set the mood for the day. The first 30 to 60 minutes after you wake up need to be productive because they set the mood for the day. You may want to pray, work out, and have proper nutrition before you start your day. When you feel hesitant, count down from 5 and take action when you hit 1. For example, getting out of bed, sending an email, starting a task, or starting a project. With the 3-2-1 rule, you're setting your intentions for the week. 3 non negotiables to get done daily. 2 self care things done at least 10 minutes twice a week. 1 thing to delegate or to get rid of. Never has this old cliche been more true. Move in silence. You don't have to post it to prove it. I just have one caveat. It's easy to get lost and feel overwhelmed with all the things ridiculous you hear and see, especially from social media. Remember, what works for one doesn't necessarily work for another. Be open minded to receive new information and wise enough to filter what aligns with you from what doesn't. Find what brings you joy. It's okay to have it different from everyone else. Try until you find what works for you. Choose your heart. Only you can create your plan and accurately assess your progress. Give yourself grace and trust the process. A question I get asked a lot is if everything was going so well, why would I want to start over again? Growth. That's my why. And so the birth of cicismeraki. But first, some R&R. This was a healing journey. I needed proper nutrition. I needed to get right with my fitness. I needed a healthy body. A healthy body for me would help me focus on my goals, like online learning, where I was learning new skills every day. And then, as I was getting into a career where I was required to speak a lot, I did plenty of speaking exercises. Next came the fun part. I was creating digital products. I was doing mental health exercises. And I was getting on podcasts to talk about mental health issues. And there were also the workshops that I did, like the workplace culture workshops, the young adults mentorship workshops, the teens mentorship workshops, the tweens mentorship workshops, the kids mentorship workshops, and there were the faith based seminars. I could just not get enough of spending so much time with these kids. It was so much fun. I was also working with a particular set of clients, giving them expert advice and guidance on how to cultivate an effective personal and professional image. And that's how I got to do the one on one coaching sessions for reinventing yourself and personal branding. If you want to know more about finding your purpose, inner child healing, creative expression, then Backpast ebook is good for you. And if you need a little nudge, I recommend the CPS 7 Part Guided Journal. If you may want to work with me, here are my socials, and I'll be putting more in the description box. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you. Bye.